A slot machine lighting up is supposed to signal your lucky moment. But ex-casino technicians reveal the second certain patterns appear, the celebration is a mask, the lights become surveillance codes, and an invisible network activates, not to entertain you, but to control what happens next. Most players think unusual machine behavior means technical glitches or random malfunctions. That is only what the casino wants you to believe. What actually unfolds behind the scenes when these specific events occur has never been publicly explained until now. If you ever plan to gamble, you need to see what is really happening when your slot machine changes its behavior. 1 second, everything feels normal. Lights blinking in familiar patterns. Buttons responding instantly. Credits moving smoothly. Then suddenly, something shifts. The reels hesitate mid-spin. The screen pauses for a fraction too long. The lights on top flash in a sequence you have never consciously noticed before, but your instinct registers something different. And right there, that is the moment ex-casino technicians say you should never keep playing. Not, slow down. Not, be careful. Walk away. Immediately. Because at that point, the machine is no longer just running its standard program. It is reporting you to the central system. Most players think slot machines operate in isolation. You insert money. You press a button. A random number generator spins the reels. You either win or you don't. If nothing dramatic happens, you assume everything is normal, that the machine is just doing what it always does. But inside the casino infrastructure, that assumption is dangerous. Because modern slot machines are not standalone entertainment devices. They are networked surveillance terminals with gaming functions attached. Every machine is hardwired into a central management system that monitors, logs, and analyzes every single action. And when certain events occur, events most players never recognize, everything about how that machine interacts with you fundamentally changes. Ex-slot technicians who have worked on casino floors for decades all describe the same critical moments. These are not always jackpots. These are not always big wins. Sometimes the trigger is a sudden screen freeze that lasts longer than normal processing time. A forced pause where the machine stops accepting input without clear explanation. A lockup message that appears unexpectedly, asking you to wait or call for assistance. A delayed response between button press and reel movement. A call attendant prompt that materializes even though nothing seems wrong. An unusual pattern in the top candle lights that most players ignore completely. When any of these events occur, the machine has crossed a software threshold programmed into its core operating system. From that second forward, the machine is no longer operating in standard play mode. It has entered what technicians internally call control mode. Inside the machine's logic board, a flag is triggered. That flag is transmitted instantly through the casino's network infrastructure to the central management system. Within milliseconds, not minutes, milliseconds, the casino's command center knows which specific machine by asset ID number, which bet denomination and level, which player loyalty card, if any card is inserted, how long you have been playing that particular session, your total coin in for the day, how much you have won or lost in recent sessions, your historical betting patterns and volatility. To you sitting at the machine, it feels like a brief technical pause, maybe a minor glitch in an otherwise normal gaming session. To the casino's monitoring systems, it is a classified data event. And once that event is logged and flagged, everything about your session is tracked, monitored, and analyzed with significantly increased scrutiny. That is why ex-technicians who understand the system architecture say the same thing. The worst thing a player can do is keep playing after the machine shows it is paying attention to them. Here is what changes inside the system after that trigger activates. Spin timing algorithms begin dynamic adjustment protocols. Session tracking intensifies from passive monitoring to active profiling. Player behavior patterns are evaluated against predictive models. Psychological reinforcement schedules activate or adjust. This is not superstition. This is not paranoia. This is documented functionality in modern casino management systems, explicitly designed to optimize player engagement and maximize time on device. The machine is now monitoring how you respond to different stimulus patterns. Do you increase your bet size after certain outcomes? Do you chase losses aggressively or cautiously? Do you slow your play rate when winning or losing? Do you hesitate before certain decisions? Do you exhibit signs of fatigue or impaired judgment? All of these micro-behaviors feed into predictive algorithms that help the system decide how aggressively the game should manage your session going forward. The underlying random number generator does not change. The mathematical probability of any given outcome remains constant. But the pacing, the near-miss frequency, the bonus trigger timing, and the psychological reinforcement schedule, those elements are managed dynamically. The illusion of pure randomness is carefully maintained. The treatment of the individual player is anything but random. Look at the light fixture on top of the slot machine cabinet. Most players call it the tower light. Casino staff call it the candle. To casual players, it is just decorative lighting, flashing colors that add to the visual excitement of the casino floor. To casino floor staff, it is a sophisticated communication protocol. Those lights use specific color combinations and flash patterns to transmit coded information across the entire gaming floor without any verbal communication. Certain patterns do not mean celebration or entertainment. They mean attention required at this machine. Verification needed immediately. Monitoring protocol activated. Escalation in progress. When those specific patterns appear, floor supervisors and attendants are not watching the machine for entertainment purposes. They are watching you. Not because you have necessarily done anything wrong or suspicious, but because the central system has instructed them to pay closer attention to this particular player at this particular machine for the duration of this session. Former floor supervisors describe the protocol clearly. When the candle goes into monitoring pattern, we don't walk over casually. We position ourselves where we have a clear line of sight. We watch betting patterns, body language, decision timing. We're looking for anything that deviates from baseline behavior. And we keep watching until the system clears the flag or the player leaves. After one of these trigger events occurs, especially if it involves any kind of win or positive outcome, casinos rely on a well-documented cognitive bias. Behavioral economists call it the house money effect. Your brain automatically recategorizes money you have just won. You think, I'm ahead now. I just won some credits. I can afford to risk a little more. This isn't really my money yet anyway. That subtle shift in how you perceive the value of your credits is precisely what the casino's hospitality and player development systems are designed to exploit. That is exactly when floor hosts materialize nearby. Complimentary beverages appear without you requesting them. Friendly conversation and genuine seeming congratulations. Encouragement to stay comfortable, to keep enjoying yourself. Offers of meal vouchers, show tickets, or room upgrades, always calibrated to your player profile and projected value. None of these interactions is random. None of these offers is spontaneous generosity. Every single touchpoint is calculated based on sophisticated predictive models that estimate exactly how much of your current bankroll you are statistically likely to return to the casino if you keep playing. Ex-casino hosts who have left the industry and now speak candidly about these systems all say the same thing. The second a player keeps spinning after a system flag goes up, especially if they just won something, we know with statistical confidence that the building is going to win that session. Our job is just to keep them comfortable and engaged until the math plays out. Here is the part of this story that casinos actively do not want reaching public awareness. When casino employees gamble on their days off, slot technicians, surveillance operators, floor managers, even some hosts, they all follow remarkably similar personal rules. When a machine pauses unexpectedly without clear justification, when it locks up, hesitates, or displays unusual behavior, when the candle goes into a pattern that triggers their professional recognition, they do not celebrate the moment. They do not rationalize it as a good sign. They do not convince themselves to play just one more spin. They immediately cash out whatever credits remain on the machine. They walk directly to the cage to convert their ticket. They leave the property, because they know something the average player does not understand. Once the system actively notices you and flags your session for enhanced monitoring, the safest strategic move is to remove yourself from the equation entirely. A former surveillance operator puts it bluntly. I've watched thousands of hours of footage. I've seen what happens to players who stay after the system tags them. The mathematics don't change, but the player's decision-making gets progressively worse. The fatigue sets in faster. The cognitive biases stack up. And the casino's hospitality system is specifically designed to keep you in that compromised state as long as possible. The only winning move after you get flagged is not to play. There is another critical event that changes everything about your relationship with the machine and the casino. The moment your payout crosses $1,200, federal law requires completely different protocols. This is not a casino policy. This is IRS regulation. The instant a jackpot of $1,200 or more registers, the machine executes an automatic lockup sequence. Reels freeze in their exact positions. The credit meter locks and stops accepting any input. All buttons become non-responsive. The screen displays a jackpot notification with explicit instructions. Call attendant. Jackpot verification required. This is not a pause for dramatic effect. This is a federally mandated security lockdown. The machine cannot be cleared, cannot be reset, and cannot process any further wagers until authorized casino personnel complete a formal verification and documentation process. A former slot technician describes the internal response. That jackpot alert doesn't just lock the machine. It fires an immediate notification to the slot management system, which logs the event and alerts floor staff, surveillance, and accounting simultaneously. Within seconds, multiple systems are recording and cross-referencing data about that exact moment. Every slot machine in a modern casino is connected to a central management system through a secure network. When the jackpot threshold is crossed, the event is logged and timestamped with millisecond precision. The system immediately records the specific machine by unique asset identification number, the exact bet amount and denomination, the game outcome and real positions, the player's loyalty card data if a card is inserted, the precise credit meter balances before and after the win, the lights on top of the machine, the candle, begin flashing in a specific rapid pattern. To the average casino visitor, it looks like celebration lights. To floor staff, it is a coded emergency signal. A double flash pattern specifically means jackpot verification required. It is a silent call for floor attendants, shift supervisors, and sometimes security personnel to converge on that location immediately. The goal of the initial response is absolute. Preserve the machine's state exactly as it existed at the moment the jackpot occurred. Every meter reading, every credit value, every symbol position on every reel must remain frozen and unaltered. Nothing can be touched, changed, or modified until the complete verification process is finished and formally approved. Floor staff are trained to establish what they call a soft perimeter around the affected machine. Curious bystanders are politely but firmly kept at a distance. Only authorized personnel with specific credentials are permitted to approach. The atmosphere shifts noticeably. A former casino dealer recalls, "You can always spot a real jackpot by how the energy changes." The winner is excited and celebrating, but the staff immediately switch into protocol mode. The area gets tighter. Everyone knows not to touch anything. It's all business until verification clears. The machine's network alert serves multiple critical functions simultaneously. It creates a permanent time-stamped record for accounting and regulatory compliance. It notifies the surveillance team to begin their independent video review process. If the machine is part of a progressive jackpot network, the alert also pings the progressive controller system, freezing the jackpot meter across all linked machines and recording the win in multiple redundant databases. This multi-system notification prevents disputes, tampering, or accidental meter resets that could compromise the integrity of the payout. For the player sitting at the machine, it feels like a dramatic, exciting pause in the action. For the casino's operational and security systems, it is the beginning of a critical compliance procedure where every second is documented and every action is scrutinized. Inside the surveillance room, the atmosphere is clinical and focused. Rows of high-definition monitors cover entire walls. Operators sit at sophisticated control stations, hands moving across keyboards and control interfaces with practiced efficiency. The moment a jackpot alert registers in the video management system, the software automatically drops a digital bookmark onto the surveillance timeline. That marker is tied to the precise machine identification number, the exact timestamp down to the millisecond, and the specific camera coverage zones for that location. There is no chance of confusion or error in identifying the relevant footage. The surveillance operator's response is immediate and methodical. A few keystrokes, and the video management system jumps back to the seconds immediately preceding the jackpot win. Multiple cameras covering the slot bank are automatically called up and displayed simultaneously. Overhead coverage, side angles, and wide shots are all recorded in high definition and synced to the same timeline. Every angle is ready for detailed forensic review. A former surveillance operator describes the intensity of the process. When that jackpot alert hits our system, we're not looking at it as a celebration. We're treating it as a potential security incident that requires complete documentation. Our job is to make sure every single detail about that win stands up to regulatory scrutiny and legal review. The first focus is always the player's hands and immediate actions. Operators zoom in to check for anything unusual or suspicious. Is there a phone or electronic device visible anywhere? Are there any unusual movements or gestures? Did anyone else touch the machine controls? The review examines the bill validator area, the button panel, even the player's lap and pockets. If anything appears even slightly out of place or inconsistent with normal play patterns, the investigation deepens immediately. Surveillance operators are trained to look beyond the obvious visual elements. They use digital zoom capabilities to examine reflective surfaces, chrome panels, glass edges, even reflections in the player's watch crystal or eyeglasses. A glint or reflection might reveal a concealed phone camera, a hidden device, or a partner signaling from somewhere in the background. Every relevant detail is captured in the primary footage and stored in multiple redundant formats. The incident bookmark locks the footage into a protected evidence partition that cannot be deleted or overwritten according to standard retention protocols. The system automatically retains extensive pre-event and post-event footage, ensuring the complete sequence from several minutes before the winning spin through the entire aftermath is preserved for audit purposes. The review process follows strict methodological protocols. Operators carefully compare the player's physical actions visible on camera to the machine's internal electronic logs, ensuring perfect correlation between what actually happened and what the machine recorded. If more than one person approached or touched the machine controls during the relevant timeframe. If the apparent winner stepped away from the machine and then returned. If there are any gaps or inconsistencies in the timeline. The footage is immediately flagged for escalated review by senior surveillance staff and management. Surveillance teams undergo extensive training to recognize coordinated behavior patterns, quick glances between multiple individuals, subtle hand signals or gestures, positioning that suggests coordinated team play, repeated patterns across different machines or different days. In high-value cases involving substantial jackpots, operators may review days or even weeks of historical footage to identify any suspicious patterns or repeated behaviors involving the same individuals. Nothing about this process is casual or left to chance. The video management system maintains detailed access logs tracking exactly who reviewed the footage, when they accessed it, and how long they spent examining each segment. Regulatory requirements mandate that jackpot incident footage be retained for months or in some jurisdictions even years, depending on the specific gaming authority's rules. If any dispute arises later, whether from the player, the casino, or regulatory investigators, every second of relevant footage is immediately available for review by auditors, lawyers, or law enforcement. Only after the surveillance operator is completely satisfied that the win is legitimate, with no devices detected, no suspicious signals observed, and no procedural anomalies identified, does the verification process move forward to the next stage. Until that clearance is given, the player remains frozen in bureaucratic limbo, just another face on a monitor screen, while the eye in the sky makes its determination about whether their luck is genuine. A floor manager arrives at the scene with a single overriding priority: establish and maintain complete control of the verification process. In the minutes following surveillance clearance, the area surrounding the locked jackpot machine becomes a tightly controlled zone with strict protocols. Staff establish what they call a soft perimeter, keeping curious onlookers and other players at a respectful distance while ensuring only authorized personnel approach the machine itself. The floor manager's approach is deliberate and professional. No congratulatory handshakes, no excited high fives. Just a calm, systematic scan of the entire scene and the people involved. Their internal mantra, drilled into them during training, is straightforward: freeze the zone, verify the player, verify the machine. The first verification step is always the asset plate. Every slot machine carries a unique identification number permanently stamped on a metal plate attached somewhere on the cabinet, usually on the side or top. The floor manager records this number carefully, then cross-references it against the casino's central database to ensure the jackpot event flagged in the system matches the correct physical machine. This is not merely administrative paperwork. It is the foundational step that validates every subsequent action in the verification chain. A mistake or discrepancy at this stage could unravel the entire payout process, or worse, create legal disputes and regulatory violations that could take months to resolve. Next comes player verification. If a loyalty card was inserted in the machine during the winning spin, the process moves significantly faster. The manager pulls up the player's account in the casino management system, immediately confirming the registered name, account photo, and unique account number against the person physically present at the machine. The loyalty card acts as a pre-verified shortcut, linking the jackpot to a confirmed identity already in the casino's database. For casino staff, it represents relief and efficiency. For the player, it means less waiting time, fewer redundant questions, and a smoother path through verification to the actual payout. Identity confirmed through the card system, the administrative flow accelerates. But when there is no loyalty card in the machine, everything slows dramatically. The floor manager must request government-issued identification, driver's license, passport, state ID, or another form of official documentation. Age verification, legal name confirmation, and eligibility to receive gaming winnings are all checked on the spot against the physical documents. In some cases, particularly for unusually large jackpots or if there is anything inconsistent in the player's documentation or behavior, a second piece of identification may be requested to establish definitive proof of identity. If the player hesitates, cannot locate their ID, or cannot produce the required documentation, the entire verification process pauses until the identity question is resolved to the casino's satisfaction. Move slowly and document carefully becomes the operating principle when standard documentation is missing or problematic. Former floor managers describe this identity verification stage as the most potentially stressful part of their job. Every detail must match perfectly. The person physically present at the machine, the identification documents, and verifiable proof that this specific individual was sitting at this specific machine at the exact moment the jackpot occurred. Surveillance footage is reviewed again if there is any doubt whatsoever, especially for jackpots won without a loyalty card in the machine. Staff review video carefully looking for any indication that someone else might have pressed the button, or that the apparent winner left the machine and returned, or that there was any confusion about who actually initiated the winning spin. In rare but documented cases, disputes over who legitimately owns the jackpot can extend the verification process for hours or even result in the payout being frozen until legal review can establish the rightful winner. The emphasis throughout is on precise detail matching and timeline accuracy. During this entire verification process, the machine itself remains completely untouched. No one inserts additional money. No one presses any buttons. No one attempts to print a credit ticket or manipulate any machine function. The lockdown state is strictly enforced until the floor manager formally gives authorization to proceed. Staff document every single step of the verification process, carefully recording times, names, asset numbers, and all relevant details on an official jackpot slip or in the digital verification system. For the casino's legal and regulatory compliance, this documentation creates an unbroken chain of custody, a permanent record that ties the specific win to a specific verified player, a specific verified machine, and a specific verified moment in time. Only when every verification checkpoint is completed and formally approved does the process advance to the next stage. Until that clearance is given, the zone remains frozen, the machine remains locked, and the celebration remains officially on hold. The floor manager then signals for the final technical verification step, opening the machine cabinet for internal system review. Slot technicians arrive on scene, not with any sense of celebration or excitement, but carrying diagnostic tools and working from a detailed verification checklist. The area around the locked machine is already secured by floor staff, but no access to the machine's internal systems happens until 2 authorized employees are present, typically a certified technician and a shift supervisor. Dual control is the inflexible rule. One person holds the cabinet access key. The other logs the access event in the system or on a manual documentation form. Every action is monitored by surveillance cameras. Every step is documented in real time. Opening the main cabinet door triggers its own separate event in the machine's internal log system, automatically timestamped and tagged as door open, with the time recorded to the millisecond. Inside the cabinet, the technician navigates directly to the audit panel or service menu interface. Here, every significant event in the machine's operational history is recorded in dense but precise detail. Game initiations, individual spins, payout events, error conditions, door openings, and crucially, jackpot triggers. The audit logs are highly technical but extremely specific. Each entry includes a precise timestamp, the machine's unique asset identification number, the bet denomination and amount, the outcome code generated by the random number generator, and the exact credit meter balance before and after each significant event. For progressive jackpot machines, the logs also include the progressive level at the time of the win and confirmation codes from the progressive controller system. The technician scrolls back through the log data to the exact moment of the winning spin. The logs must display a clean, uninterrupted sequence. Spin initiated by player button press. Random number generator outcome recorded. Real stop positions determined and executed. Credits awarded to player meter. Jackpot lockup protocol engaged. Any gap, timing inconsistency, or data mismatch raises immediate red flags. For example, if the internal log shows a jackpot recorded at timestamp 14 hours 23 minutes and 16 seconds.902, but the credit meter update is logged at 14 hours 23 minutes and 20 seconds.000, that 4-second discrepancy triggers an investigation hold. Error codes are examined next with particular scrutiny. If the system recorded any error condition within seconds of the jackpot, a real tilt sensor alarm, a communication protocol loss, a memory integrity fault, the payout is immediately frozen. No money is disbursed until the anomaly is thoroughly investigated and resolved. Technicians undergo extensive training to recognize subtle indicators of potential malfunction or, in rare cases, attempted tampering. A mismatch between the displayed jackpot amount on the screen and the internal meter value in the machine's memory is automatic cause for escalation to senior technical staff and management. If the machine is part of a linked progressive jackpot network, the technician must confirm that the local machine log matches both the progressive controller's independent record and the casino's central management system log. For wide-area progressive jackpots that link multiple casinos, the progressive controller's record is considered the final authority, and that external system must confirm the win before payout authorization. In rare but documented cases, the technical logs reveal deeper problems. A subtle timing glitch in the random number generator cycle. A momentary communication dropout between the machine and the progressive controller. An error in the progressive meter increment algorithm. When any of these technical anomalies appear in the logs, the machine stays locked indefinitely. The technician immediately notifies management, and the incident is escalated to gaming regulators or sent back to the machine manufacturer's technical laboratory for forensic analysis. The machine's complete memory may be dumped and copied for detailed examination. The player is informed that the payout is on administrative hold, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days, and in extreme cases, until regulatory review is complete. But when the logs show perfect correlation, no errors, no timing gaps, no data inconsistencies, and every meter perfectly aligned across all systems, the technician signs off on the verification. The supervisor adds their formal approval signature. The chain of custody documentation is complete. Only at that point does the process advance to the final payout stage. For the player, the wait is tense and often frustrating. For the casino, it represents a critical test of system integrity. The legitimacy of the entire gaming operation depends on these technical logs being accurate and reliable. Every jackpot, regardless of how routine it appears on the surface, is treated as a potential regulatory audit event. The machine's memory becomes the final witness, the ultimate authority on what actually happened. The walk from the gaming floor to the payout room is physically short, but the atmospheric change is dramatic and complete. Gone are the flashing lights, the ambient music, the excitement and energy of the casino floor. The payout room is all harsh fluorescent lighting, utilitarian furniture, and quiet, serious voices. Every jackpot exceeding $1,200 triggers mandatory federal reporting requirements, and the documentation process is specifically designed to leave absolutely nothing to chance or interpretation. The floor manager sits across a desk or counter from you, official forms already prepared and waiting. The first step is always identity confirmation. Government-issued photo identification, social security number or tax identification number, and sometimes additional documentation if the jackpot is exceptionally large or if anything about your identification documents appears inconsistent. For U.S. players, IRS Form W-2G is completely unavoidable. The casino is required by federal law to report any slot machine win of $1,200 or more directly to the Internal Revenue Service, and that reporting requirement means your complete legal name, current address, and tax identification number must be recorded accurately on the spot. If you are not a United States citizen, there may be additional forms required, and in many cases, automatic federal tax withholding occurs before you receive any cash. Everything is recorded with redundant documentation. Every signature you provide, every line you fill out, every piece of information you confirm. Security cameras mounted in the payout office capture the entire process from multiple angles, creating a permanent video record for regulatory auditors and legal review. The manager double-checks the machine asset identification number, the exact jackpot amount, and the timestamp of the win against the technical logs and surveillance reports. Only once every verification box is checked and every form is properly completed does the actual payment emerge. For smaller jackpots just over the reporting threshold, the payout might be a neat stack of currency bills, counted carefully in front of you by the cashier. For six-figure jackpots, expect a casino check, sometimes with a portion available in cash if you specifically request it. The payout process is never rushed. Staff count and recount currency. They ask for your signature multiple times on different documents. The celebration you might have imagined is completely over. What remains is a stack of paperwork, multiple copies for different entities, one for you, one for the IRS, one for casino records, one for the Gaming Commission, and finally, the money that is, at last, officially and legally yours. A former casino host remembers exactly how their phone would buzz with a high-priority jackpot alert notification. The moment the casino management system flagged a significant win, the host's detailed player profile for that specific individual would automatically populate on their mobile device screen. The profile displayed everything relevant: player name, current loyalty tier level, recent playing history, average bet amounts, theoretical loss calculations, and most importantly, the amount just won. Within minutes, sometimes within seconds, the host was moving through the casino floor, approaching the winner with a warm smile and a carefully calibrated menu of complimentary offers. Premium cocktails from the top shelf bar. Reservations at the signature gourmet restaurant. Suite upgrades to luxury accommodations. Show tickets, spa treatments, golf packages, whatever the player's established comp budget and theoretical value allow.
Have admitted they
The goal was straightforward and explicit: keep the winner feeling special, valued,
Today,
and appreciated, and most importantly, keep them physically inside the casino building.
Data shows they've been
Casino customer relationship management systems are specifically engineered for exactly this moment. The instant a significant jackpot is logged in the system, especially if the winner was using a player loyalty card, a real-time alert is automatically distributed to the player development team. Hosts are extensively trained to approach with genuine congratulations and subtle but persistent encouragement to stay and continue enjoying the casino's amenities. The complimentary offers are never random or spontaneous. They are precisely calculated based on sophisticated algorithms that predict how much the player is statistically expected to lose over time, not just what they won in this specific session tonight. Behavioral psychology research has extensively documented what casino operators call the house money effect. Players who have just won experience a cognitive shift in how they value money. Winners feel bolder, more confident, more willing to take risks. They are significantly more likely to gamble with their recent winnings because psychologically, they do not fully recognize that money is truly theirs yet. The casino's hospitality and player development systems are specifically designed to encourage and extend that psychological state as long as possible. That is exactly why former hosts who have left the industry and now speak candidly about these practices say the same thing. The smartest strategic move after any significant win is to politely but firmly decline the next complimentary drink offer, decline the free meal,
They had 2
Decline the
banks
suite
of must-hit
upgrade
by
and
progressives
head directly
totaling
for the
24
exit.
machines.
Take your payout.
Over a
Walk
6-month
immediately
period,
to the
those
nearest
machines
exit.
were expected to
Celebrate
hold
your
8%
win-off
based on
casino
their programming.
property, where you are not
Their
surrounded by
actual hold was
machines designed to take your money
3.2%.
back.
That's
The only
because
way to
organized
guarantee you
groups of
win is to
locals were
leave with your money
systematically
intact.
identifying and playing
That is
only
the
the
rule
meters
every
that were
veteran
close to
player
hitting.
repeats.
They were
Get
extracting
paid,
value
get out,
that the
do
casino
not look
never
back.
intended to
Today's
give.
modern casinos
Those early
transform every
generations of
significant
must-hit by
win,
progressives
every
are a
jackpot,
textbook example
every
of
triggered
casinos
event into a
underestimating
detailed
how
data
observant
point
and
that is
organized their
analyzed,
best players
tracked,
could be.
archived, and
Putting
leveraged
it
in
all
real
together,
time.
casinos
As
regret these
casino
machines
gaming
for
floors
several
grow
core reasons.
increasingly automated and
First, too
interconnected,
generous
the real
math.
contest is no longer
Original
simply
Wheel
luck
of
against
Fortune,
mathematical
Monopoly,
odds.
Buffalo, Double
The
Diamond,
real
and
battle is
Blazing
between
Sevens
human
were all
players and
programmed with
sophisticated,
RTPs between
engineered
94%
systems of
and
persuasion,
97%.
monitoring, and
That's
psychological
dramatically higher
manipulation.
than the 85
In that
to 88%
environment,
RTPs
understanding
that
the
casinos
casino's
prefer
operational
today.
playbook becomes your
Second,
only
overly
legitimate strategic
transparent pay
advantage.
tables.
The machines
Full
are
pay
not your
jacks are
enemy.
better induces
The
while make it
mathematics are
obvious
not
what you're
unfair.
getting if you do
But
the
the
math.
system surrounding you,
There's
the
nowhere for the
surveillance,
house
the
edge
data
to hide.
collection, the behavioral
Third,
tracking, the
location and
hospitality
optics
offers,
backfiring.
the psychological
High
reinforcement
RTP showcase
schedules.
slots near
Those
entrances ended
systems
up
are
attracting
specifically
smart
designed
players,
to keep
not
you
just
playing
random
longer than you
tourists.
should, betting more
What
than you
was meant
planned,
as
and
marketing
leaving with
became
less
elite.
than you won.
Fourth,
When you see that
progressive
unexpected
jackpots and
pause,
must-hit
that
systems
unusual
created windows
hesitation,
where savvy
that
locals
unfamiliar
could get
light
close to
pattern,
or above
that is your signal.
100% expected value.
That is the moment the system
Casinos
is paying
never
attention.
anticipated
And that
players
is
would be
exactly when you
organized
should
enough
stop
to
playing
exploit
and
this.
walk away.
Fifth,
Share your thoughts below
underestimating
about what
player
you would do
intelligence.
if you noticed these warning
Casinos
signs at a
assumed
slot
most
machine.
people would never study strategy, track meetings,